Just ignore what's happening right behind. Long story short, I was trying to put my laundry away and the door kind of came off the hinges. I don't know how. I don't know how to fix this. Like, hold on, let me move out the way so you can get up. Yeah, so that one right there came off first, and then I noticed that this one, the hinges on top were kind of loose, so I just took that one off, and I was in the process of fixing it, but not gonna lie to you, I got kind of lazy, so yeah, so that's gonna be the background for I don't know how long. The last 7 games, the Lakers were actually on a winning record. We actually have 4-3. However, those 3 losses are something that needs to be talked about. Now, obviously, you have the Celtics loss. That was terrible. And then you have the Booker-less Suns game. We lost that one. Seriously, they didn't have Devin Booker. They didn't have Dylan Brooks. And they also didn't have Jordan Goodwin. So that's 2 of their best defenders. And we couldn't beat that team for some odd reason. And then we also lost against the Magic, which, again, heartbreaking fashion. We were actually leading in that game about 80% of the game, if I'm not mistaken, but regardless of that, it's been a tough 7 games. But despite that, we also have some major news, one of them being that Rob Pelinka may actually keep his job past this season. And on top of that, he's not going to be alone, as Tony Bennett will be acting as the draft advisor for the Lakers. Now, he's not going to be leading the scouting department, but he will help them in terms of finding players that fit the mold of the Lakers. But what kind of players are those exactly? Well, according to Dan Wilkie of The Athletics, he states, quote, Bennett's experience is finding players who possess toughness, energy, and IQ that will aid the Lakers search as they restock an empty-ish cupboard of young talent. Now, in the upcoming draft, the Lakers are slated to have the 21st pick, and the major question of that is obviously, can you find somebody of value? Can you find a pretty decent 3-and-D guard like a Max Christie? Can you find a decent center? You know, guys like that. Obviously, they're going to be looking for a 3-and-D guy to help Luka Doncic, but I wouldn't be opposed to seeing a center as well. Now, the scouting department isn't exactly the best that it once was, but we have had a history of finding diamonds in the rough. You know, your Josh Harts, your Jordan Clarkson, your Brandon Ingrams, Lonzo Balls, you know, guys who honestly became pretty good players in the NBA. Not going back to those 3 losses that I mentioned, we also have NBA reporters specifically for the Lakers like Trevor Lane and also Franco over on Twitter kind of doubting this team and seeing how the team basically just looks deflated. As Franco states over on Twitter, quote, Lakers played like a team that knows they won't be together for a long time. They look worse after the deadline because everyone realized that their plan is to play it out. But then you also have Trevor Lane stating that, yeah, it's just almost every night there's something else with this team. Lack of rebounding, turnovers, lack of offense, lack of defense. You know, one thing at a time will lead to this team feeling deflated and looking like they don't even care about basketball and just waiting for the summer to hit. Now, with a recent 3-game winning streak, that kind of has turned the narrative around. But yeah, it's still prevalent to see that the Lakers basically are saying, hey, we're going to try our best to win, but I know I'm not going to see most of these guys coming back this October. And a more recent addition in Luke Kennard, he has been a huge 180 from having Gabe Vincent from basically only scoring 3 points a game to now honestly averaging about 9 points a game and still shooting above league average. Now, Luke Kennard is an expiring contract, but honestly, I think we can actually keep him, especially if we let go of LeBron James and also try not to get Giannis Antetokounmpo, but we'll see what the summer does because, again, I'm pretty sure the owner just cares about big names on jerseys. But speaking of LeBron James, we also have reports that he could just retire and then become a owner of an NBA team. Now, one of those teams has been rumored to be a Las Vegas expansion team or maybe even the Seattle team because those two have been the front runners for an expansion team. But it doesn't stop there, as Rich Paul could potentially sell Clutch Sports to help finance their bid for said expansion team. Now, on the other hand, LeBron James could simply lace it up one more time, but not in the purple and gold. He could honestly have a potential landing spot for either the Knicks or the Golden State Warriors, which, by the way, as soon as the summer hits, both Steph Curry and Draymond Green are going to be heavily recruiting LeBron James to join the Warriors in free agency. Now, of course, here is a part of the video where we just shit talk about DeAndre Ayton. I'm not trying to curse. I'm not trying to yell. I'm trying to be as professional as possible. But at the end of the day, I am a Lakers fan. I am not affiliated with any organization or anything like that. This is my own independent little rant or whatever. But my God, DeAndre Ayton has some tone-deaf comments in recent games. So on February 22nd, Dave McMahon posted this article talking about DeAndre Ayton's role with the Lakers. Within the article, DeAndre Ayton states, quote, they're trying to make me Clint Capella. He later adds on and states, I am not Clint Capella. Which, buddy, hey, DeAndre Ayton, you signed up for this. in the beginning of the season, you said that you were going to anchor down the defense. These are your words. No one else said this. Not your agent, not anybody in the Lakers organization. This is you. This was you in the beginning of the season. You said that you're going to be a defensive anchor and you're going to, hold it down on the defensive end. And you saying that you are not Clint Capella, who honestly would be an amazing fit for the Lakers. A prime Clint Capella would be an amazing fit because one, he will do your job infinitely better. And you want to know what the funny thing about that is? That Clint Capella, that same night, because after this game, the Lakers go on to play against the Suns, I believe, we lost, and DeAndre Ayton got outplayed by Clint Capella that same night, who also, by the way, he went on Instagram to post something on Instagram where he's basically clapping back saying that Luka Doncic and LeBron James are some of the best floor generals in the game with DeAndre Ayton, and he also tells them to lock in, which, yes, dude, I don't know why you're complaining about your role. You are not guaranteed touches. If we have to make sure that you get your touches so you don't act like a big baby, then you're not on this team for a good reason, bro. You're not on this team for a long reason. I should say that instead, because my goodness, who says this? So not only is the front office stroking this man's ego by giving him a shirt with half his face on it and half the face of a lion, we also have the training staff for the Lakers organization. Again, this man is 27 years old, and we have to write on his water bottle, quote, DA's crunk juice. Drink this to unleash the beast. I'm gonna let y'all sit with that for just a second. If we have to treat the starting five of the Los Angeles Lakers like he is the biggest baby, why are you even on this team, dog? And before you start typing away talking about like, oh, you Lakers fans were delusional, of course DeAndre Ayton's gonna turn to the player that like this. He's been like that in Suns. He's been like that with Portland, which, yes, I will admit, I fell for the DeAndre Ayton hype. At the beginning of the season, I even said that the Lakers were kind of crazy thinking about DeAndre Ayton was not the center of the future. But man, I got so bad, man. I regret praising this man because why? Just why? So instead of complaining about your touches, how about you play better, Ayton? How about you don't get outplayed by Jackson Hayes? Or sometimes Maxi Kleber even outplays you. In the recent game against the Kings, he actually showed you how to play your role. So JJ Redick, please, for all things purple and gold and holy, do not give DeAndre Ayton more than 20 minutes a game when we're fully healthy. I beg you, because this man needs to be punished for the way he has been playing. I'm not gonna lie to you, if this continues, I want him bought out tomorrow because I just can't stand DeAndre Ayton right now. Also, I forgot to add, yes, I know in the beginning of the season I also stated that, his worth ethic and a bunch of other stuff was coming with him, and that was questioned as soon as even beginning of the season. Yeah, it's starting to come back, and it's driving me insane because he's acting like he's a first option when he's clearly not even like the fourth option. Like, it just pisses me off. It pisses me off. Like, I really want to yell, don't get me wrong, but as the time of this recording, it is 11:30 at night, so I'm just gonna leave a link in the description down below to Lowe's videos because he expresses his feelings in a much poetic way than I can, to say the very least. Now, moving forward with the rest of the report, we also have Rosen explaining why Lakers tickets are going to be more expensive next year. And unfortunately, it's just greedy companies being greedy companies, which sadly has been the norm nowadays. Rosen explains, quote, and obviously it reflects on what the market is now and demand for tickets. You can look at how tickets sell and what the prices are. You can look at the primary and secondary markets and you can see where the demand is. So let me get this straight. The reason why ticket prices are going to be going up from like 50% is because of the secondary market. So you're blaming resellers for the ticket prices increasing. Now, I don't have a solution when it comes down to this kind of problem. I just don't know, to be honest, but there's gotta be another way, right? Now, this is gonna be part of the video where I kind of just grabbed some information that was coming out during these weeks, and I really didn't plan out the structure of this video or script really to be to my optimal liking. Blame it on laziness, blame it on me, losing focus on this, and school cool. But regardless, this is just me gonna add some like random, reports. Since the Lakers have lost against the Suns actually control the tiebreaker, meaning that if it goes come down to record, the Suns could take the Lakers spot in the 6th seed while the Lakers fall into the play-in spot, which is not a position that we want to be in. Now, with 21 games left in the season, we still have a lot of work to do. But if we can somehow find a way to get back into that 5th seed, maybe we can avoid that from happening. At the time of this recording, the Suns are actually 2 games away from taking the 6th seed from the Lakers, while the Lakers are only half a game away from taking the 5th spot from the Denver Nuggets. Now, out of our next 5 games, we're playing 3 teams above 500, and the Lakers record honestly has not been good against teams above 500. Now, the teams below 500, which would be the Pacers and also the Bulls, yeah, it's going to be a rough week to say the least. Also, in the last couple of days, we have reports that both Luka Doncic and AR will have some major say when it comes to LeBron James returning to the Lakers this summer. Now, during the Golden State Warriors game, JJ Redick was subbing out Luka Doncic, but Luka Doncic did not approve of that, so they kind of had this little back and forth going into the bench, which Vando had to step in to kind of like de-escalate the whole thing. But it states here that that was just out of competitiveness. According to Dick McMenamin, he states, quote, "A source close to Luka Doncic told me that him and JJ have a strong, close relationship that dates nearly a decade, and they're both fiercely competitive, and they both push one another." Now, I don't know how much of that is true. I mean, when you see the video, you can clearly tell that Luka Doncic is upset from what JJ Redick has to say, and also Vando kind of just stepped in to be like, okay, let's calm down, guys. Come on, we're in the middle of a game here. Let's try to win this game. Yeah, it was kind of weird seeing that. I don't know, but who knows? Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. This is kind of all speculation at this point. And finally, we also have reports that JJ Redick wants to adjust some minutes for both Reeves and LeBron James to play more minutes, which I don't think that's a good idea because the numbers support that. I mean, if you look at this chart here by Data Baller, it states that LeBron James and Luka Doncic are a negative 4.2 net rating, and when LeBron James is off and Luka Doncic and AR are both on the floor, they are plus 16.9. And if you have both Luka and LeBron, they are negative 3.8. So I don't understand the game plan about this because the numbers clearly support that LeBron James and AR don't exactly work that well. Honestly, you should be more focused on AR and Luka getting more minutes. Maybe have LeBron James coming off the bench. I did state that in my last video that the numbers kind of support that. I don't know what JJ Redick's thinking about, but those are just my opinions. Let me know what you guys think in the comment sections down below. Now, with that being said, let's move on to the 5-game predictions. First up in the 5-game predictions, we're up against the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Nuggets have the #1 best offense in the league while simultaneously having not the best defense in the league. I mean, they only have 1 spot above us when it comes to defense, being 21st, and the Lakers also have a top 10 offense as well. But the Nuggets are also coming off of a streak of games where they are 5-5. They're also on the first night of a back-to-back, and to be honest, their 3-point shooting is good, but we have the #1 3-point shooter player in the game in terms of percentage, but I don't know how much is that going to help us really, because again, the Denver Nuggets, the last time we played against them, we beat them without Jokic. Now, how much of that will help? I assume a lot. Jokic is going to be helping. Now, their assists, they're top 10 when it comes to assists, and the Lakers, yeah, obviously we are nowhere near that. We are 20th when it comes to assists, but on the plus side, at least the Lakers are now, when in terms of net rating, positive 0.5, but at least this is a step in the right direction. But will that help us win against the Nuggets? Probably not. I mean, they have Jokic, they have Murray, and Murray somehow always turns up against the Lakers, because seriously, look at him and playing put him against any other team that isn't purple or gold, and he is gonna choke for some reason. I don't know why. With Jokic being back, Nuggets being 5th in the West, and having one of the best offenses in the league, net rating and everything, their pace is also not that much better than ours. In terms of rebounding, yeah, that's gonna get us. They're 20th. Assists, that's gonna kill us. They're also, when it comes to personal fouls, they give more personal fouls than the Lakers, so that's something that they can exploit. But how much of that is going to help them, I don't know. Turnovers, the Nuggets are 3rd while the Lakers are 17th. So yeah, I'm probably gonna have to say the Lakers lose against the Nuggets. On the second half of back-to-back, the Lakers are gonna be facing against the Pacers. Now, the Pacers, they're the worst team in the Eastern Conference, and I don't see the Lakers losing to them at all. That worst would. There it is. They're also not having any back-to-back, so they're going to be fully rested. And in the last 10 games, they are 2-8, which, yes, the Lakers need to exploit this. They have the worst offense, one of the worst defense, top 5, really. Yeah, everything about this team, Lakers should have no problem. I mean, they do move the ball a lot more than the Lakers. Their 3-point shooting is worse than ours. Turnovers are bad. Personal fouls are bad. I would say the Lakers win against the Pacers. Next up is going to be up against the Knicks. Now, the Knicks, they're playing in an early game with the Lakers. Lakers. They're going to be about 12:30 Pacific time. But despite that, I might be able to record a live stream there, but I might have to leave early because, you know, I got work. So maybe I can work something around that. But regardless, the Knicks, yeah, they have the fourth best three-point percentage team, top 10 when it comes to offense, top 10 when it comes to rebounding, top 5 when it comes to turnovers. They do give a lot of personal fouls. They are 20th, but yeah, third best offense, top 10 defense. Last time the Lakers played against them, it did not end well. So, and I believe we weren't fully healthy. I think somebody was out for that game. I could be wrong. Despite that, yeah, I would say the Lakers lose to the Knicks, especially since this is going to be the first night of a back-to-back, which, spoilers, almost every team in the next 5 games is going to be facing on the first night of a back-to-back. Not a single one of them is going to be on the second night. Now, the fourth game in this 5-game prediction, we'll be facing against the Wolves. Now, the Lakers, when it comes to the Wolves, we had their number in the beginning of the season, and recently, I am skeptical of us winning this game. Now, don't get me wrong, we have beaten them without LeBron James. In recent memories, again, the Lakers have a terrible record when it comes to teams above 500, and we're facing 1, 2, 3 teams that are above 500. Like with this Wolves teams, yes, they're a top 10 rebounding team. They do move the ball a lot more than the Lakers. They're top 5 when it comes to three-point percentage. They do turn over the ball a lot, just one spot up better than the Lakers, just 0.1. And they also give out 20s. They're 27th when it comes to personal fouls. So Lakers are going to exploit the heck out of that. Now, when it comes to offense, they're top 10. Defense also top 10. They're 10th in pace, so they're really fast. One of the faster teams. Now, the Pacers are right there with them, being 9th. But the fastest team when it comes to pace is going to be the Bulls. But despite that, the Wolves are also 7-3 in the last 10 games. First night of a back-to-back. Like, I want to see the Lakers win every single game, obviously, but it's hard to deny the fact that the Wolves are just better on paper. So I'm going to say the Wolves take it. And finally, the Lakers are going to be facing against the Chicago Bulls. Now, despite a lackluster trade deadline with rumors stating that the Chicago Bulls are going to be one of the biggest sellers at the deadline, they really didn't move that many players. They did move off of Kobe White. This is also first night of a back-to-back, but this is one of the worst teams in the league. And as of right now, they're also 1-9 in the last 10 games. Their pace, obviously, I mentioned they are pretty fast, but when it comes to offense and defense, they're 24th in both categories. Now, personal fouls, they don't really give that many fouls, and they're only one spot below the Lakers being 4th. Turnovers, they are the highest team when it comes to turnovers. They dish out 15.2, and that is the only team besides the Lakers that are pretty bad when it comes to turnovers. Every other team is pretty good. I mean, you have Pacers, they are 14th, so above league average, but they also are 10th when it comes to rebounding, 6th when it comes to assists, top 10 when it comes to three-point percentage, which, yeah, we're dealing with a lot of teams that are going to be just lighting it up from behind the arc. If the Lakers somehow could exploit them turning over the ball and do not give up turnovers, because again, somehow we had to give out 20 turnovers in the New Orleans Pelicans. So I would love to say the Lakers beat the Bulls just of that, them being such a poorly constructed team. But again, it all comes down to how the Lakers respond to getting punched in the mouth early, seeing if they have any drive to win any games, you know, fight through adversity. But the Lakers are probably going to come out of this 5-game predictions with a losing record of like 2-3. But of course, what do you guys think? I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. Click like, share, and subscribe. Ring the notification bell so you never miss out on any other video or live shows if those ever come back constantly. But still, let me know what you guys think. And until next time, everybody, see ya and stay safe.